Hi guys, it's Night Fear, and I have come on to tell you about what I'm reading for the FemmeFanTale readathon. This is a readathon hosted by Jean Bookish Thoughts, and it goes from March 2nd to March 10th. Now, this is a readathon all about reading fantasy books written by women. And there's actually a bingo board, which I messed up on because I don't know why I was thinking 4x4, but it's supposed to be 4x3. So just ignore the bottom row because I kind of messed up. But anyway, so there's a little bingo board to go along with this. Now, I wanted to share some of the books. There is one category that I have not been able to find a book that I can get a hold of. So if you guys know of a book that will fit this category, let me know. And if I can get a hold of it in the time of this readathon, then I will read it. If not, I'll just end up reading 11 books instead of 12. So, okay. So the first, as you can see, the very first one is queer. So I have to read a queer fantasy book written by a woman. And I am going to read Timekeeper by Tara Sim. And I'm going to be reading this on Scribd. Now, this is one, if you subscribe to Common Spence, this is one that he... actually, it's a series, so I think there's 2 books. But this is one that he talks about all the time. Let's just move you guys down just a little bit. Okay. And so when I thought about this and discovered that this was on one of the lists of queer books, I thought, oh, this would be the perfect time to read this. This is about it's a Victorian world where clock towers control time. This young girl, she lost her father to where a clock broke and he is stuck in this time. And so she, I guess, needs to fix the clock or do something to save him. And so that's kind of what it's about. I'm not sure where the queer element comes in and don't really care because I like to read queer books. So, and I think it's fun to find out along the way what the queer element is instead of knowing from the beginning. And that's why sometimes I try to not share exactly what the queer element is in the book, because I think sometimes it's fun to find out yourself. So that's the first book that I'm going to read, and I'm really excited, and excited to get to one of Spencer's favorite books. Now, the second one is romance. I don't like to read a lot of romance. Well, that's not true. I kind of like Victorian romances, and a lot of the fantasy has kind of romance elements. So I think this one is more of a romance element book than a romance. But this is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is a new series in an old world. This actually takes place in the same world as the Remnant Chronicles. I read all of those and absolutely loved it, loved the world, and decided that I really wanted to continue, well, not continue, but continue in this world, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I do not know what this one is about. Don't really need to, because I like I said, I've read the Remnant Chronicles. And this world is kind of, there are special people in it that have magic, and the magic, it's kind of prophecy magic. And then there's different clans and things, and they have a long history, and there's a lot of stories and different things going on and kind of warring between the different clans and things. And it was the Remnant Chronicles is really good. If you guys haven't read that series, I really highly suggest it. I enjoyed the first one. A lot of people, I know some people don't, but if you don't enjoy the first one, I'd continue because it does get better. So that's the romance. Now the next one is a book inspired by myth, and this one's been going around BookTube. And so I decided I would jump on the hype train and read Circe by Madeline Miller. And this is the story of Circe, and she is, I believe she's part goddess, this might be full goddess. Not sure, because I don't know a lot about the myth of Circe. I do know she is a witch. She does have, you know, witchcraft. She does have power. She can cast spells and things. And that she is banished to an island. And if I remember right, I think she doesn't like men or takes her anger out on men or something. But anyway, this is supposed to be a really good book. I've heard a lot of good things from people who have read it. So, we'll see. I'm gonna... Ooh, and it's another book with deckled edges. So yeah, so that's Circe. Then we have translated fiction. This is one translated. So I need a translated fantasy written by a woman, guys. So if you know a really good translated fantasy that's written by a woman that is easily accessible, maybe on Scribd, or that my library might have through Overdrive, please link them down below, because, or not link them, but let me know down below, because I have no clue. I have looked and looked and looked, and just, it is very hard to find translate. I mean, you can find a lot of lists of translated, but try to find translated lists of fantasy written by a woman, it's not as easy as you'd think. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Like I said, if not, then that one's just going to be, unfortunately, a category that I won't be able to do. The next one is standalone. Ooh, and I'm excited about this one. The standalone one I have chosen is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Now, I have read Cruel Prince and The Wicked King, and I am one that enjoyed both of those books. This is another... It's not in the same world, but it is a fairy story, and it is about a brother and sister who talk about this prince that's supposed to be in a glass coffin in the forest. And I'm not sure if they actually know he's there, like they've seen him, or if they're just, you know, like playing that they think they know. But anyway, they make up stories about him and that they know him and things, and then the prince actually wakes up. So it should be really good. And if it's anything like The Cruel Prince or The Wicked King, I'll be happy. So, the next one is a BAME author, and the BAME stands for Black and Minority Ethnic Author. And so I chose an author that I have recently read, a book by her, and really, really liked it. It's actually, that book was, The Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. And the one I'm going to read for this readathon is Talon, which is one of her older books by Julie Kagawa. And this one is about, and it's a series, so if I like it, I can continue. But this is about, a world where dragons used to exist, and they don't exist. Well, they kind of went into hiding, so they somehow they're living in human form, and they have built back up their numbers and are planning on taking over the world, I guess. And it's about a brother and sister who are getting ready. They're teenagers. They're getting ready to do a mission or participate in this or something. And the girl, Ember, I think her name is Ember. Yeah, Ember. Ember wants to kind of be, she wants to be a teenage girl. She wants to experience all of that. And she just wants a year for her to do that. And then on the other side, there is a hunter who is supposed to be hunting down dragons. And of course, he meets Ember, and he's not sure what to think about her, and she's not sure what to think about him. You know, you guys know the trope. This is a trope that happens often, but I like that trope, and, you know, it's okay. So I'm excited to read this, and if it's anything like The Shadow of the Fox, the writing and things like that, I'm really going to enjoy this. So I'm excited about this, and I really don't need another series, but this month I'm adding a lot of new series, so I'm just going to have to deal with it and just start reading more series, I guess, or getting more series together. The next one is Fairytale Retelling. This one is The Great Hunt by Wendy Higgins, and this one I believe it was Murphy Napier. I'm almost positive it was her that was recommending this another series. I'm pretty sure this is a series too. But this is a retelling of Grimm's Singing Bone. I have never heard of that. But it's takes place in, let me remember the, Loch Lennox. So it's kind of like an Irish, maybe, kind of thing. But anyway, it's about a kingdom who a beast is terrorizing it, and the king has had enough, and he says, hey, whoever can kill this beast, I will give my daughter's hand. And of course she's not happy, but then there's this hunter, and she thinks, hey, you know, maybe, and you know, see, it says kill the beast, win the girl. So it sounds interesting. And I'm all for the beastie, because Beauty and the Beast is I know this is not a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but you know, those beast kind of stories and all those I really like. So I'm hoping to really like this one. And she liked it, and I've liked a lot of books that she does, so hopefully I'll like it too. And if I do, if it is a series, like I'm thinking it's a duology or a trilogy, and then I'll continue once again, because you know, like I said, never too many stories or too many series. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, hold on. I shouldn't have closed that out. So, all right, the next one, you guys are going to laugh at me, but it'll be okay. The next one is, where are we? Let's see, Novella. So, once again, trying to find, I know there's a lot of fantasy novellas, but trying to figure out what is a novella, what isn't. You know, the definition of a novella. Is it just a short book, or is it a novella? It just, ugh. So I was looking around on some lists, and well, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm kind of a Twilight fan, and I have discovered that I never read the short Second Life of Bree Tanner by Stephanie Meyer. And this is a novella from Twilight. This is one of the people that were turned, don't want to ruin anything for those of you that actually do want to eventually read Twilight, but it's a story about one of the side characters, and so I figured this would be the perfect time to read it. My library said they had it, but they have 2 copies, and one they lost like a while ago. Why they didn't just take it off the website, I have no idea, but and then one they said they've recently lost. So I don't know if I'll be able to get this from the library. So, but I'm sure I could probably find it on Scribd or on my Kindle app. And if not, then I'll have to find another one. But for right now, the plan is to read this one. No hating, guys. I can't help it. I like Twilight. And I'm not afraid to admit it. So for those of you other people that like Twilight, give me some Twilight love down below. And, you know, we'll be picked on together. Haha. Okay, so the next one is pre-2000. So it has to be written before 2000. This one was written in 1990. This is Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Red, I think is how you pronounce her last name. I'm also reading this one for middle grade March. With as many books as I have and as many readathons as I do, I like to kind of overlap a little bit when I can. And this is one I can do that. And this one I'll just kind of do a really quick summary. Youngest princess, tomboy, not happy with her life because everything she tries to do, they say no, no, no. So she decides to run away and to become this dragon's princess. And she meets a whole bunch of people, a djinn, a djinn, a witch, a death-dealing talking bird. That's going to be funny. A stone prince, and some disreputable wizards, and lots of dragons. So, I think this sounds like a pretty good book. This is also a series. So, yeah, what is that? 3 series now that I've added? No, 4 because 5 because Timekeeper and then Dance of Thieves. I'm sure is going to be a series. Yeah, well, I'm not even going to think about it. Okay, the next one is historical. This is The Red Magician by Lisa Goldstein. I had never heard of this book. I was just looking up historical fantasy. And this one is World War II. And I really tend to enjoy World War II stories. And it's about a magician who comes to warn this village of this prophecy. And the rabbi is not having anything to do with it. This 11-year-old girl decides to help the magician. Things go wrong. The Nazis come. They end up she ends up getting captured. I'm not sure if the magician or the rabbi do. I don't know. It doesn't go into that. But it says that the girl goes to the concentration camp, and when she comes back, the rabbi and the red magician are going to have it out. So it sounds interesting. I'm thinking I'm really going to like this one. And really excited because I've never read most of the World War II books I read are more factual or more based in real life. And I don't think I've ever read a magical realism World War II story or a fantasy World War II story, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. And because I've never heard of it, it makes me even a little bit more excited because I love to find new books. Okay, so the next one was pretty easy, YA, because I read a lot of YA fantasy. I mean, most of the ones I've already said I could read for this, but I like to, at the beginning, at least on my TBR, have a book for everything. Now at the end, it might not work out that way, and I might use one book for a couple things. But at the beginning, I like to have a book for each thing. So I decided for the YA one to do 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. And this book has been around YouTube a lot. Some people like it, some people don't. But I tend to like books that a lot of people don't, so I thought I would try it. And this has got one of those covers that are just, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It feels nice and soft and nice. But this one's about 3 sisters. They're triplets. And they are born, and they are each taken to different places to be raised. When they are 16, they will come back together and they will fight for the death. Whoever's left standing, the one left standing will be crowned the queen. So to me, it sounds really good. I'm really liking, because like I read last year, I read The Red Queen. I read, of course, now I can't think of. I read several of the Queen Princess. Oh, I read Furyborn. So a lot of those books, and really enjoyed them. So I really like the Queen. I read Selection, which is not anything like this, but I'm just saying I read a lot of Queen Princess type books. So I'm thinking I'm going to like this. And because this is a little on the darker side, I'm probably going to like this even more. And guess what, guys? Another series. Okay, and the last one is adult. I have never read this book. I really have not been interested in this book, but a lot of people talk about this highly, that they highly liked it, and that, you know, people should read it, and they recommend a lot of the people that I watch. So I decided I would try it, and it's an adult fantasy. So this is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Now, this book, from what I understand, it's about a circus who it goes around at night. It doesn't announce itself. It kind of just comes and goes. And in the circus, there are these 2 magicians, illusionists, does it say? Feats of magic. So, I don't know, take it with what you will. But anyway, they are actually competing with each other. And from what the premise says, it's like one of them is going to die, or has to die, or whatever. And I don't think they realize it, but it's about them competing in this circus. So, I mean, it sounds interesting. And Carval is another one that I know is another circus book, or a carnival book, whatever. And that's another one I don't know if I'm going to read or not. And I might. Just like this one, I kind of picked it up on a whim. So I'm really hoping that I like this one. And it's kind of it's long-ish. I think it's about 400 pages-ish. Yeah, it's almost 400 pages, so it's not that bad. Yeah, so, but those are the books. Those are the books that I'm going to read for this readathon. I'm kind of excited. Let me know if you are going to participate. And if you like to read fantasy, if you've read any of the ones that I've mentioned, and if you have a translated book for me, let me know. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and please remember to always be kind to one another, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!